We were raised on magic, glass slippers, talking animals, love that fixes everything. At the same time, we were also raised on yelling behind closed doors, emotional eggshells, parents who didn't know how to love gently. So, what happens when the movies say happily ever after, but your real life feels like a storm you never asked to live through? This is Millennials Raised by Disney and Dysfunction. Hey, I'm Alex, and this is Find a Millennial Diary. You're still listening to Volume 2, Nostalgia and Identity, at least for a couple more episodes, where we're still exploring what built us and what we're still trying to unlearn. And this one's a hard truth. We were raised on the idea that love conquers all, that kindness always wins, that if you just stay good and dream hard enough, everything will work out. But a lot of us were also raised in households where love had strings, where calm was conditional, where affection and conflict came from the same hands. So how do you grow up whole when your dreams and your reality were never on speaking terms? Let's be honest, Disney made us believe in big, beautiful things, transformation, true love, magic in the mundane. Now, we were told if you just believe in yourself, you'll get there. If you're kind enough, patient enough, worthy enough, happiness will find you. And we clung to it because in a lot of our homes, that fantasy was safer than the truth. We needed the fairy tale because the real world was already full of fear. And in those VHS tapes and animated worlds, we saw the version of love we wished we had. Meanwhile, in the real world, love came with conditions. Maybe you had to perform for attention. Maybe silence meant safety. Maybe your home felt like a war zone dressed up as normal. So you'd watch Belle sing herself about escaping her town and feel that in your bones. You'd see Simba run away from guilt, and it felt too close. You'd root for characters to find peace because you didn't know how to find it at home. And even if your family looked fine on paper, you knew something was really off. So you escaped to animation, to fantasy, because the dysfunction was just too loud to name. But Disney gave it a softer echo. Now here's the damage nobody warned us about. When you grow up with Disney, ideals and real-life dysfunction, you start mixing them. You believe love is supposed to fix people. You chase red flags because you're used to emotional intensity. You think if you're just good enough, calm enough, hell, sweet enough, you'll earn peace. Because that's what the movies taught us, right? That love is the reward for enduring. But real love doesn't need you to prove your worth. It doesn't show up after pain like a prize. And some of us are still trying to learn that. Still trying to unhook our sense of safety from the fantasy that betrayed us. Here's the question. What happens when you grow up on fantasy, but you live in chaos? You become a dreamer with trust issues. You become someone who wants closeness, but fears the cost. You become someone who over-apologizes, over-functions, over-romanticizes. But also, you become resilient. You learn to imagine joy. You learn how to build better because you know what hurts feels like. Maybe the fairy tale wasn't real, but the hope it gave you, that was. And now it's yours to define. You don't need a castle. You just need peace. And you get to write what that looks like now. Not with fantasy, but with truth. Next time on a Millennial Diary, when music hit different. And so did LimeWire. We're going to talk about the emotional survival tools that we found in music. Until then, be kind to the kid who needed cartoons to cope. And to the adult who's still learning the difference between love and survival. Because your story, it's not a fairy tale. It's a comeback. And this is fine.
Goodbye.